This is ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. Topping our news tonight, the name was mysterious. Project Mulligan, an effort to lure an unnamed national company and 180 high-paying jobs to Sarasota County. But the bigger mystery tonight might be, why did the county commission vote no? A national roofing company whose name was not disclosed was considering relocating its headquarters to Sarasota. In exchange, the company was asking for more than $700,000 in tax breaks. But commissioners voted 4-1 against the plan after hearing strong opposition from the area's roofing industry. While many are celebrating, representatives from the company say it is a huge mistake.
Those individuals voicing their opposition, they talked about this would cause them to suffer, their roofing companies. This isn't a roofing company. This is a headquarters project.
It angers us greatly that they're offering an incentive to a firm that's out of state, has nothing vested in this community, and hasn't been paying taxes here for decades like we all have.
Commissioners say the company is still welcome to the area, but a company representative says they are now considering going elsewhere. There has just been a wee bit of a fuss in Sarasota over taxpayers flipping the $250,000 legal bill to defend City Commissioner Susan Chapman against allegations she violated the state's sunshine law. But in Manatee, the county commission is saying no to a commissioner's request to have taxpayers pay her legal bills. In a lawsuit with Citizens for Sunshine, the same group suing Chapman, Commissioner Robin DiSabatino has racked up a $30,000 bill. Citizens for Sunshine alleges DiSabatino held a private meeting with another commissioner and transportation officials to discuss a road project back in 2013. Manatee School Board is discussing plans tonight to close one school and build another. A public hearing is being held at the closing of Wakeland Elementary School. If approved, students would be moved to in the 2017-2018 school year. Also on tonight's agenda, approving $2.3 million for the site of a new school in Parrish, changing impact fees based on a half-cent sales tax, and approving $52,000 in settlements in the Rod Frazier case. We will have details on the meeting tonight coming up at 11 o'clock. An update now on that frightening situation yesterday at Planned Parenthood. Sarasota's Planned Parenthood has reopened after a chemical scare sent 7 people to the hospital. Everyone is now out of the hospital. The investigation continues, but officials say unsealed cleaning supplies were the cause, and there is no criminal investigation at this time. City leaders on Anna Maria Island are considering bringing license plate recognition cameras to their roads. The cameras scan the plate of every car that drives by. If any crimes are associated with the tags, car, or driver, local law enforcement is sent an alert. The ACLU says it could create privacy concerns, and there needs to be rules for how long the data is stored. But city leaders say it will keep the community safer.
We are paradise. You know, we have a beautiful island community, but not everybody that comes here is someone that we would consider a welcome guest.
Costs and locations for the cameras still need to be worked out. And Bob, these days there is a camera just about anywhere.
You know, it's just exploded, hasn't it? Over the last 10 years, it's amazing. I should have stock in those companies, I'll tell you that. We are looking at beautiful weather for the beaches. Speaking of that, very dry air. In fact, it's a record amount of dry air in place this morning from the Tampa Bay Weather Service out of Ruskin. Their balloon launch measured the lowest amount of moisture ever recorded on this date. And they've been doing it for over the past 30 years. So, again, a very dry day for late May. Here's what's going on. That dry air that was around in place this morning, you can see it covering the entire state with the exception of the southeast coast, has shifted to the east, but there's still some behind it. So we're going to see another nice day tomorrow. It won't be as dry, but still to be comfortable. Anna Maria webcam showing a nice day out there in Bimini Bay, protected somewhat by the trees in the surrounding area, so not much of a wave action there. But we did have seas right around 2 feet today. Should be comfortable for boaters tomorrow. Again, tomorrow, radar picture indicating a lot of moisture down to our south. That's where all the tropical moisture has moved now. It's been kind of squeezed down there due to a trough of low pressure and a frontal boundary. There are 1 or 2 lone storms that have been popping up. It never fails because of the heat of the day. We've had 90-degree temperatures inland areas and just enough lift to create the atmosphere. You see that line of, look, what appears to be showers heading off to the southwest right now, entering into Manatee County. That's an outflow boundary from some storms that were around earlier, and we could see 1 or 2 cells popping up along that line, but the chance is very small. We're not going to see much if we see it at all. And you can see that big storm now entering into Highlands County. Other storms along West Palm Beach haven't been around all that long. And we continue to watch an area over the next 5 days in that circle. There's a chance we could see a tropical or subtropical low develop, but eventually it will push away from our coast, so it should not have a big deal on our weather. Well, here's the forecast for boaters. Tomorrow looks good. East winds at 15 knots. They'll subside somewhat in the afternoon with a light chop. The extended forecast calling for nice weather, Alan, all the way through Friday. Now, the weekend, there's a chance for a few scattered showers, but it doesn't appear that we're going to see any kind of washout.
Okay, Bob, thanks a lot.
You bet.
And still to come, new rules from the Department of Labor could help you know more about how your money is being invested. Find out what these rules mean for you when we come back.
The all-new MySuncoast.com. Just another way we're here for you.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass and Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass and Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WinGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WinGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass and Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-290-0352. 800-290-0352.
Some of us watch our personal investment portfolios like hawks and know every single detail of what our financial advisors are doing with our money. But many of us, no matter how smart we think we are, really have no idea whether the advice we're getting from our stockbrokers are in our best interest or theirs. ABC 7's Kate Flexter joins us with more. Kate.
Alan, President Obama has called for the Department of Labor to crack down on conflicts of interest when it comes to retirement advice. And this new law should do just that.
91-year-old Ron Sheff considers himself savvy when it comes to investments, with a financial advisor he trusts and has worked with for years.
They're not pushing me into aggressive investing because they may make more money on that. We have a good relationship and I trust them.
But not all are as lucky. Some retirement savers are steered into pricey investments when a broker or advisor has a conflict of interest. Right now, the Council of Economic Advisors estimates conflicted investment advice costs investors a massive $17 billion a year.
It's as though a doctor didn't have to tell his patient what was the best thing for them. He had a medicine that he owned and he was selling it to a patient. We would never have put up with that.
But that might be about to change, at least when it comes to those saving for retirement. Last month, the Department of Labor announced stricter rules requiring brokers and advisors to put their clients' interests first. It seems like a no-brainer, but right now they're only required to recommend products that are, quote, suitable.
The rules all too frequently no longer work for working people. The system is all too frequently out of balance.
The new rule doesn't ban commissions altogether, but requires brokers to explain why they're recommending a product when a less expensive one is available. Michael McNiven of Cumberland Advisors says that's a positive step.
It will force advisors to really show why what they're doing is in the best interest of their client.
The Department of Labor says that required explanation makes this a big win for the middle class, while opponents, which include many in the broker industry, say it could drive up their costs and force them to drop middle-class clients. But McNiven says this will actually have little effect on the middle class.
It doesn't hurt them, it doesn't help them. The middle class is so steeped in debt. What happens in the investment space is irrelevant.
But he says this is important for the profession and will hold financial advisors and brokers alike accountable.
This Department of Labor ruling is moving the dial. I think it's important that it's moving the dial for not only the public, the investing public, but for the profession itself.
Certified financial planner Laura Mattia agrees with McNiven. She says this new rule may even weed out some in the business in the process.
If, in fact, it puts some financial advisors out of business, that means they probably should be put out of business. That means that they have no business giving financial advice. This is serious stuff.
Plus, she says retirement savings are perhaps the most serious situations in the financial planning world.
If an 80-year-old gets bad advice, they can't go back to work and get more money. That's it. They're done. And what do? So now they're living in poverty.
For Ron Sheff, even as a financially savvy person, this change is a step in the right direction and long overdue.
You have no idea whether they are working in your best interests or not. This should have happened 50 years ago.
Financial firms would have until January of 2018 to get into compliance.
Okay, thank you. And in a moment, our roundtable.
Attention, this is an important message for anyone who had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to their heart or lungs. Did your IVC filter move, break, or cause organ damage? The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, even death. If you or a loved one suffered serious complications, call IVC Filter Helpline now. You may be entitled to compensation. IVC filters are designed to prevent blood clots. If your IVC filter moved or broke and you suffered heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, or if a loved one died as a result, call IVC Filter Helpline today. Our network of experienced attorneys is ready to fight for you. You'll pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call today for a free confidential consultation. Don't fight this alone. Call IVC Filter Helpline now.
Please call 800-897-6764. That is 800-897-6764.
You know what scares me? No electricity. Yeah, when this magical box suddenly stops working, I call the pros at Mr. Sparky and they send a superhero to save the day. How's it going, Pablo?
It's going great, Mike.
Pablo possesses amazing skill. He can perform incredible feats at blinding speed.
Superhero! Couldn't have done it without you.
Modest, too.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Just to be clear, I don't live here.
They care. They take the time to understand you, take the time to understand your case.
There's no better satisfaction to me than to see a client who is happy because of the job we've done for them.
It's really actually very comforting to know that there's someone that you've heard of and you're getting recommendations about that you can turn to when you have a problem.
I felt like I had a partner in this, and he was going to be by my side.
And joining us for more on tonight's topic is Gabriel Hammond, an investment advisor at Cumberland Advisors, and Laura Mattia, founder of the Women's Money Empowerment Network. She is a principal at New Approach Financial Planning, and she's also teaching finance at Rutgers Business School and will be teaching personal finance at the University of South Florida. And thank you both for joining us tonight. You know, I'm thinking about that commercial on TV right now where the couple, ask every conceivable question about the car that they're going to buy and the other purchases. But they go see their advisors, and the advisor says, we want to switch you to something else, and they look at each other and just go, yes.
It's a problem. It's a big problem. People don't know the questions to ask. So they just say yes because they don't know what else to say.
And is this new rule going to change that reality for your normal investor?
I hope so.
Well, the Department of Labor has issued a new rule that advisors who are giving advice with respect to people's retirement accounts, 401ks, and IRAs must be held to a fiduciary standard, the highest standard in the industry, which means that the client's interests must be put first before the advisor's interest.
Now, you gave us some information that really kind of breaks down the impact of what the system is now. That you're saying that on a yearly basis, that the fact that some advisors don't always do what's in their client's best interest is costing about $17 billion a year in losses.
And up.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
The White House Council of Economic Advisors released a study that revealed that conflicted advice with respect to retirement accounts is costing retirement savers $17 billion a year, 17 billion with a B. Now, that equates to a decrease in 1% in returns every year for retirement savers.
And it means that their total nest egg is 25% less than it otherwise would be.
Right.
Over a 35-year period.
And that's because of fraud. But it's not just fraud. It's because there also is a certain level of incompetency in this business as well. So one of the things that this regulation is going to do is going to require financial advisors to become competent. In other words, they can't just give you any old advice. They need to know what they're saying. They need to understand your situation. They need to understand if it's appropriate. They need to understand, they need to do the due diligence on what they're advising. Otherwise, they could get in trouble. So
I bet, you know what people who are watching this are saying at home right now? You should know what you're doing. You, the investor, should know.
You would be
what
surprised. Oh, the consumer?
That consumers, us, the investors, should not be taking for granted what your financial advisors or brokers are saying anyway.
This is true, but I can tell you as a comprehensive financial advisor that many people come to me and they say, I trust you, just do it. And I always tell them, don't just trust me, ask questions. Understand what I'm recommending to you. You shouldn't just trust people. But unfortunately, as you stated, some people they'll ask more questions when they're buying a car or when they're getting their hair cut than they will when they're making this kind of decision.
Gabriel, there was a comment in Kate's story that was really kind of disconcerting with the financial advisors saying that middle-class Americans are so in debt that these changes really don't make a difference.
Well, over the last few decades, healthcare costs have increased almost exponentially. Costs for higher education have increased almost exponentially, and that has impacted the millennial generation and the generations that will follow because of those high costs. So how can the millennial generation save for retirement if they're still paying off student loan debt?
And let me ask you also something, Laura, that there is almost a perception that, you know, women have become very accomplished in the workplace. They are doing everything and they're running our households. But your position, and you are going to be teaching this at USF, that women don't take as much responsibility or not involved as much in the family's personal finances as they should be.
Yes, and there are a lot of reasons for that. But just think about the time in the day. There's not enough time in the day to take care of the children and go to work and do all these kinds of things. So oftentimes they delegate the financial responsibilities to the husband. And that's fine as long as the husband remains there. But what happens?
What he's doing.
And knows what he's doing. But what happens if something happens to him, if he dies? I mean, the truth is we live longer than you guys. And most likely the woman will be on her own at some point without the financial skills because she hasn't developed them over the course of her lifetime.
Gabriel, these new rules are fine, but what still needs to be accomplished?
Well, these new rules, it's a double-edged sword in that the new regulatory compliance measures with which broker-dealers and registered investment advisors will have to comply with may increase the cost of doing business, and that could be
passed down to consumers.
Can I just say also, this rule only requires advisors who are advising on IRAs, not on taxable savings accounts. And that's an issue because a lot of folks, they'll sell something, they'll sell property, and that money is earmarked for retirement. So they think that money is being managed the same way. It's not.
Right, because it's really important to point out there are two different kinds of advisors. There are investment advisors that you said that have a stricter fiduciary responsibility, but there are broker-dealers who don't have to be as concerned about the impact of the investment on the consumer?
They have rules. It's called the suitability standard, and they have rules that as long as they go up to this line and they don't cross over that line, that's fine. With the fiduciary standard, there are no lines. You just better do what you're supposed to do.
But Gabriel, how many people, how many consumers really understand the difference between the investment advisor and the broker and the rules that both have to follow?
Alan, the truth is very few consumers know about the two sets of rules with respect to registered investment advisors and individuals associated with broker-dealers. So I think this new rule coming from the Department of Labor will be of benefit to retirement savers.
And Laura, who's fighting this, if anyone?
Who's fighting against it?
Are there institutional opposition
Oh,
to this?
absolutely. All the large players, the banks, the wirehouses, the insurance companies, now to be held at a fiduciary standard. It used to be that a consumer could just take you to arbitration if something went wrong, if you didn't follow the suitability standard. Now, we're opening it up that the consumer can actually take you to court in front of a judge if you do not behave as a fiduciary. So there's tremendous liability exposure, and now they're expected to behave a certain way. They're expected to do their due diligence. Some people may not even have the skills. A lot of advisors were once hired to sell products, are now expected to know how to give financial advice. So it's turning the industry on its head, really.
Okay, and we'll have to leave it there. I want to thank you both for joining us tonight, and we will be back in just a moment.
US Med has great news for anyone living with diabetes.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, US Med will ship a new glucose meter right to your home.
And shipping is free.
My new meter uses only a speck of blood, so it's less painful than my previous meter.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, you're covered with US Med. We're welcoming new patients, even if your current provider can't supply you anymore.
I don't even have to test on my fingers anymore. I can test on my hand or forearms, and it's more accurate than my old meter.
So call US Med today, and you'll have a choice of 2 great meters.
One that actually speaks your results, or a meter so small it fits on the bottle of strips.
Act now, and US Med will include a free prescription discount card. We'll also send you a free diabetes cookbook. This is your opportunity.
So call US Med today.
You'll be glad you did.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
The Veterans Administration has been plagued with long wait lines for years, and Congress decided to do something about it 2 years ago by creating the CHOICE program. The $10 billion program seems simple on paper. If you have to wait more than 30 days for an appointment at the VA, then you are given the choice to go to a private provider. Unfortunately, the program has been plagued with problems, meaning thousands of veterans here on the Suncoast are not getting the medical care they desperately need. Here is what what you had to say. Cynthia Freeman writes, veterans should receive care at any facility, anytime, anywhere for the rest of their lives with no cost. It's a disgrace politicians voted for this benefit for themselves but forgot who fought to give them their liberties. Glenn Stevens writes, I have been dealing with this very issue since December of last year. The information given to providers and vets conflict. Claims can only be sent to a processing center in Virginia with no way to confirm that they actually received the paperwork. Leon Haying writes, by the time the VA contacts Veterans Choice and gets approval for going to an outside agency, there isn't much difference in the delay of getting treatment. Veterans Choice is not what it is all cracked up to be. And Ron Flynn writes, to the VA execs, you're fired. Well, if you'd like to join the conversation about tonight's topic, just visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/news at 7. And that is all the time we have for this evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Alan Cohn. Have a great night.